Good morning and welcome back. Today we're playing the SAV 20.12.48. A Swedish rank 3 tank destroyer. It will be available until January 17th. Available for 1,300 golden eagles. Hopefully this video will help you in deciding whether or not this is a good pick for you, and it will be able to research effectively from rank 1 all the way up to rank 4. So here we are, first game on Abandoned Factory. Last video I showed how you should approach this from the C side, and now I'm going to show you if you were going A side, at least my preferred route. The red lines again showing where you're going to be driving, the open cones showing where you should be looking, at least for danger, but the X is now showing where enemies are most likely to come from. From the X's position, I find that the most enemies are appearing and killing me from, so be extra careful from there. Now, I should also mention that this won't work if you're in a heavy tank. Preferably, you want to be in a wheeled tank destroyer. You should be in a pretty quick tank for this to work. There are multiple reasons for this. The first off is you're just gonna be too slow, and from the area where I marked before with the X, people are just going to be quickly seeing you and killing you. The second thing is that in a heavy tank you have a pretty long reload, so that means you won't be able to engage targets pretty quickly from this area, which you want to do since you're gonna be a lot of players and you don't want them to notice you. And the third and final reason is you're just gonna be too late for the first initial wave, as you can see. Now this is a fantastic spot for multiple reasons. First off, you are in cover for any early cast. You are also in a pretty weird and unusual position. Most players don't expect anybody to be in this house, especially this early in the game. So you can catch a lot of people off guard. You should also be careful, since there's a big chance that enemies will come from the opening behind you, just as that M44 did. Luckily for us, he didn't seem like the most experienced player. Now after you've killed the entire first wave, you should open up the sort of cement walls here. You should try to do it a bit discreetly, and here we just have a clean shot on the second wave. Now if we're lucky, they don't know we're here, but as you can see with this Jagdpanzer, they often do know that we're here, so we're gonna have to be a bit more careful in where we shoot. After getting absolutely slammed by that Jagdpanzer 4, we're gonna come back to the same area and gonna start engaging the third wave. With this map, most of the enemies are gonna be leaving, and the ones who stay are just gonna get spawn camped, since this is a very spawn campy map, especially from the A capture zone. So this gives me a bit of time to talk about the actual tank. This is a 120mm, which fires 6 rounds every 1.2 seconds at 3.7. The rounds don't go through a lot of armor, they go through around 90-97 mils of armor. The big upside with these rounds are, however, that they carry a bit over 800 grams of explosive filler. Now 800 grams of explosive filler is insane for a APHE round. Now let's talk about the two other aspects of this tank, the survivability and the mobility. First, let's talk about survivability. You have 3 crew members, which isn't really great. Your armor is around 15mm all around, except some parts of the front which are around 30, which at 3.7 isn't going to be stopping anything. You may stop some heavy machine guns from the front if you're lucky. You also have some smoke, but this is only one shot of 3 smoke grenades, so this isn't really gonna improve your survivability a lot. Then what about mobility? Mobility is really good. You can go 43 km per hour forward and 18 in reverse. You have a 400 horsepower engine, which allows you around the 20 horsepower per ton. So you're really responsive, you're not sluggish at all, you can get the tank turned around to aim very quickly as well. So what does this mean for playstyle? Well, if you think about it, you basically have no survivability. You have great firepower, which you can pump out at a really quick rate, and you have pretty good speed. This means your main playstyle should be flanking in this tank. You can't really survive going head on, and the best games you are going to get in this thing are by flanking, so that is what I would recommend you to do. If you want to be successful, try to always get on the side of enemies and utilize your speed as your protection. Taking first place in the team with 10 kills total, earning a total of 8,000 research points and 78,000 silver lions. For the second game, we are on Volokholamsk. And again, I'm going to show you what route I usually take and kind of show you where you should be looking and be aware of. Again, the arrows indicating where I'm driving and the open cones showing where I should and where you should be looking. Now, I do want to get to this hill that's indicated, and why I want to do this, there are multiple reasons. First off, we're going to be behind the enemy lines, so they're not going to be expecting. And second of all, we have a pretty good coverage of both A and B. Now, I will say this won't really work if you're a slow tank. Again, you need to be very quick in this area, and the chances of this actually working gets lower and lower the higher BR you get as people become more and more aware. I'm not even really sure you can get this in higher BRs, but anyways, back to the game. We are in a very good position here, and we'll be able to kill this T-34 without any major issues. And after we cleared out a capture point, we can now look over the hill, and we can start killing the tanks coming towards A, which haven't really gotten there in time. And this is why I like this area so much, they're not going to be expecting us to come here. Now after you've cleared out the side on A, you can look right and you're gonna see the hill I'm looking at right now. If you swing a bit more left, that is where most players are gonna be. This is a very popular area for players to be, so you will have a lot of targets and they will be showing their side, so there's not gonna be much problem penetrating them, and with your 1.2 second reloads, they're gonna be gone in an instant. Then after this, if you have survived, you can run up to this hill right in front of me. Now, with my tank, I have pretty good gun depression, so I can work this hill. And from here, you can just basically eliminate the entire second wave if you're lucky. You of course need to be careful, since you are pretty much directly in front of the respawn. The guys you're gonna kill are gonna know roughly which area you are in. But from here you should be able to defend A and B pretty good. A is a bit harder since it's a bit more hilly, but then again, you should be able to defend them pretty easily. One more thing with this tank that you need to keep in mind is that you need to know how many rounds you have in your clip. Since you fire at 1.2 seconds every round, they are going to be going very quickly. You only have 6 rounds to fire, so they're gonna be gone very quickly if you fire at a high rate of fire. So you want to bring a lot of ammunition, you want to be a bit careful where you aim, and you just want to keep an eye on how many rounds you have, since it's gonna be quite awkward if you pull up in front of someone, the first shot doesn't penetrate, and boom, you can't fire your out of rounds in your clip. So you don't want to be careful of that. And of course, it's cast that comes and ruins everybody's day. Well, nothing much we can do against that. We're gonna get murdered by every plane we come across. Now, since you look at the minimap, you see that no one's watching the A side, so we're gonna come back to the same side. You also need to be aware of the amount of planes up in the sky. Since you're an open top, that means planes are going to be gunning for you more. Since, you know, when they're out of bombs, you're gonna still be looking for kills, they don't want to go back to the airfield. so they're gonna try to strafe. Here we go. Now, there's a lot of things you can do against gas. Well, not a lot, but you can do some things. You can try to hide, you can try to bait the bombs out, but you can also try to pop smoke and run into smoke, since at these lower tiers, they may not drop the bombs and they may not know where to strafe. So I do pop them, but they just go way too far. But luckily this Yak 9 tried to suicide into me, and yeah, that didn't work out. So we do manage to survive. So we're back at our hill, and we're gonna go back to the same hill that we were on originally. And we're gonna take up the same position and start defending an A again. Basically until the end of the game. With 13 kills in total, we're gonna take first place, getting a total of 9,700 research points and 90,000 reliance. With that, the video is at its end. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. And stay tuned, as there will be more content to come about War Thunder in the near future. Until next time, take care.